Right, so welcome everybody to our Monday evening flow and reflect class. So you can come to sit, if that's okay. If you're lying down, you could stay there if you want to. But if you're seated, you can sit on something, maybe a folded blanket or a brick, and just have a little rock forward, side to side, just to find that central point for the spine. Make yourself comfy. You might inhale, roll the shoulders up around the ears. And then exhale, drawing the shoulders down the back. You might do that a few times. Longer, deeper breaths, drawing you up towards the sky. Exhaling, shoulders down. Inhaling to reach up. And then the next time that you exhale, you could release the hands onto the legs, maybe palms up or palms down. So choosing where you want to settle. And then allowing your breath just to come back into a natural rhythm, just taking a little bit of time to transition from whatever your day has brought you into this space of gradual stillness and gradually becoming present, of just being here in your body with your breath. Just maybe sensing the breath come and go at the nostrils. Or maybe sensing the rise and fall of the chest. Hi Maria, if you're just joining there. We're just starting seated, just watching the breath, letting the body settle. Just taking our time to be here. To have that feeling, that knowing that there's nothing really that we need to do here, nothing to get done. But really just wanting to find some movement in the body, see how we are, just explore being with ourselves for a while. And this week we're moving into week 4, can you believe it? And this is going to be about gratitude this week. So the attitude of gratitude to change our perception. And lots of different techniques and tools we can use to help to cultivate this kind of very important and very strong emotion of gratitude. And you know, we all kind of want to be happy. We want to have that fulfilled life, good family life, financial stability, freedom from worry, and often within that pursuit of happiness, we often forget to just pause and be thankful for what we already do have. And gratitude is such a powerful emotion, and research has shown by conveying and receiving simple thank you messages, we can feel the pleasure that maybe we seek elsewhere. Within life. So maybe that, you know, that successful career, that house, that place that we want to live, that car, that next holiday, those things that we often strive for in life. It will give probably momentary happiness, but then often we just keep striving, we keep moving forward, keep wanting more. And one of my favorite quotes is, "Enjoy the little things, for one day you may look back and realize they were the big things." And when I was writing this week, I realized that actually a lot of this is very similar to happiness. So in the way that in week 2, when we were looking at the happiness muscle, we were looking to find those moments of happiness within our day and really sit with them, really pause, be present, take those deep breaths and let them sink in. So let them be part of us, be part of our being, our body, our mind, and our heart. So we'll be exploring that this week and in this class. And in this class, we're going to explore backbending in a physical way. So that will be our kind of physical focus. But I'll give you the options. So if there's anything going on with your lower back, you start to feel anything there, then I'm going to suggest that you do more of a connection through the belly and don't go into back bending, because we want to feel these back bends in the front of the body, across the belly, across the chest, really not really anything in the lower back. So we'll explore that as we go through. So take another long deep inhale, and then exhaling, releasing the breath. And then inhale, reach the hands out to the side and all the way up to the top. Bring the palms together, and as you exhale, bring the hands into the heart space, draw the belly in, soften the shoulders, sinking back down. Doing that a couple of times with your breath. So you're inhaling all the way up to the top. You might gaze to the thumbs. And then as you exhale, softening down. Inhaling to reach up. And exhaling. And then this time, inhale to the top. Interlace the fingers and press the palms away, but draw the shoulders down the back, draw the lower ribs in. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, just softly over to the right side, just a little bit of stretch along the left side of the body. Try and keep that left hip down. Take an inhale, come back to the center, and as you exhale, over to the other side. And always with these first few movements, just check in, see how you're feeling, see how things are, and really guide your practice to where is going to be nourishing and good for your body. Take an inhale, come back to the center, and as you exhale, we're going to come into cactus arms, so you bring the elbows in line with the shoulders. Take an inhale, so feel a little bit of a lift and a length, so finding that long spine. And either, as you exhale, draw the belly in, stay there, or you're going to exhale and begin to draw the shoulder blades towards one another and almost kind of dropping the elbows back. So this is the point where you kind of check in. You go, okay, is there any pinching in the lower back? Is there anything that feels uncomfortable? If there is, you're going to come back to the center and keep the belly engaged. So we're going to do this quite a few times throughout the practice as well. So take another inhale there. And as you exhale, come back up to the top if you're back bending. Take an inhale, and then as you exhale, release the hands behind, interlace the fingers. Take an inhale, draw the shoulder blades together, and exhale, draw the hands down towards the earth. Take an inhale, and again, you're either drawing the belly in, stay where you are, or create a little bit of a back bend. So you should be feeling it like across the belly, across the front of the chest, across the shoulders, no issues in the lower back. Take an inhale, come back up to the center. If you're back bending, release the hands, bring the hands forward, interlace the fingers and round through the spine and reach the hands forward. You could draw the chin in towards the chest if that feels okay for the neck, and just a kind of rounding through the shoulders. Take an inhale, come back up to the center, release the hands, swap over the legs, so have the opposite ankle in front. Take an inhale, reach the hands up to the top. And as you exhale, bring the right hand down onto the mat and then reach through the left fingertips, palm facing down. So a bit more of a side stretch now, but still making sure that that left hip stays nicely down onto the ground. And it's all the way through the side into the armpit. Take an inhale, come back up to the top and over to the other side. Same thing there, palm facing down, create space between ear and shoulder, so actively drawing that shoulder down. Flow through that a couple of times. Inhale back up, and exhaling over to the other side. Inhale, and exhale. One more, inhale. Inhale and exhale, and then inhale back up to the top, reach both hands back up, and as you exhale, come back into that cactus arm, so you're really kind of drawing the hands down. Take an inhale there, so create that long length through the torso. Maybe exhale, slightly dropping back. If that just doesn't feel right for you, keep connected through the belly, no back bending needed here. Take another inhale. As you exhale, come back up to the top if you're back bending, and then release the hands behind. Inhale, draw the shoulder blades together, and maybe as you exhale, you sink down into that a little bit more, opening the upper chest. But remember, when the back doesn't feel great today, stay connected and just use this as more of a core connection for you today. If you're back bending, take an inhale, come back up to the center, and then everyone release the hands round, interlace the fingers, and rounding, drawing the chin towards the chest, broadening across the shoulders. Really nice one if you've been at a desk, doing lots of writing, driving today. Take another inhale, come back up to the top, release, so coming over into your tabletop. Couple of rounds of cat-cow, so hips over knees, shoulders over wrists. Take an inhale, gaze up, allow the belly to drop. And then as you exhale, draw the belly in, draw the chin towards the chest, press through the hands. Couple more times like that, inhaling to round. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. And then sitting back towards your child's pose, but keep the arms reaching forward. Keep the elbows off the mat. And then just come onto the fingertips so the palms are lifted. And each time you inhale, it's like just an inching forward through the fingertips. And each time you exhale, you might feel that you could sit back towards the heels a little bit more. Breathing there. And then take an inhale, come back to your tabletop, plant the hands down, tuck the toes, and exhale into your down dog. Hip distance between the feet. You could walk out through the legs, just pedaling out the legs, the feet, just a little there. Easing off any tension in the backs of the legs. And just see if you can let go of the head. So give it a little shake perhaps if you need to. Make sure that the hands are spreading, the fingertips are spreading, the hands are really planted down. And even that space between thumb and index finger, so really draw it down into the earth. And then pausing in your down dog, take an inhale, lift the pelvis. So you really feel you're lengthening through the back of the body. And then as you exhale, soften the heels towards the mat, but you're keeping that nice lift. And then take an inhale, raise the right leg, press through the heels. So we're not going to bend into that right leg. Just going to be aware of the weight into the shoulders, into the wrists. Try and keep it as level as you can. Drop that right shoulder down a little. And as you exhale, just draw the belly in. Feel that you could lift a little bit higher through the pelvis, through the right foot, but draw the toes to the midline of the body. Take another inhale. And then as you exhale, we're going to sweep that right foot forward. Bring the left knee down. Make sure that the right knee is over the ankle. And then take an inhale and sweep the arms up to the top. And just bring the hands onto the hips for a moment. And kind of feel a drawing down, almost like a grounding down. Struggle to do it with my speaker thing. But it's like a sinking down. And then bring the thumbs into the armpits. And then that's like a lifting. And really what we're just trying to do is get that length through the torso. Or just kind of feel where that is for you. And then inhale, reach the hands back up to the top. Keeping that long torso. Take an inhale. And then as you exhale, come into your cactus arms, drawing the shoulder blades towards one another. Take another inhale. Either draw the belly in, stay there, or as you exhale, begin to drop back into that. So finding that little back bend. But remember, this is a front opener. So you'll probably feel it from the left thigh, cross the pelvis, cross the belly, upper chest. That's where you want to feel it, not into your lower back. Take an inhale to come back up to the top. Exhale, release the hands behind. Inhale, draw the shoulder blades together. Make sure that that right thigh is still working. It's nicely connected. Thigh is connected. Glute is connected. Take an inhale. And maybe as you exhale, you begin to open up through the front body here, drawing the hands down towards that left leg. But remember, you can always stay straight. Take an inhale. Exhale to come back up to the top. Release the hands forward, interlace, and do that rounding through the shoulders again. Take another inhale. And then as you exhale, release the hands down. You can step back and move through a vinyasa, or you could just go to your down dog, or you could even just sit back to a child's pose if that is where the energy levels are today. So really check in with where you need to be. Keeping it mindful, keeping it connected, taking your time. So really the gratitude muscle is like any other muscle in that it must be flexed to be strong. So expressing gratitude not only to others but also to ourselves induces these positive emotions, which is mostly about happiness. So when you're ready, take an inhale, lift the left leg from your down dog. Press the heel away, draw the toes to the midline. Check in with the weight across the hands. So you want it to be as level as you possibly can be. Press back through the right heel a little, so you're engaging that leg. And make sure that the head is nice and loose and relaxed. Take another inhale. And then as you exhale, bring that left foot forward. Drop down through the right. Set your lunge up on that side. So left knee over ankle. Inhale to sweep up. And if you're finding that useful, to just kind of draw the hips down so you feel that length, fingertips into the armpits as you kind of lift, lift, lift. Then reach the hands back up. Inhale. And then exhale to bring the elbows to shoulder height. Take an inhale. And then as you exhale, keep that openness through the front of the body as you drop back a little. So you really want to feel that along the thigh, the right thigh, the belly, not into the lower back. Take an inhale, come back to the center. Exhale, the hands behind. Inhale, draw the shoulder blades together. And maybe exhale, going into that front opener. So think of it as opening the front of the body rather than a back bend. And that's what about that length through the torso. That's what we want to create. So you don't want to squish into your lower back. No pinching. Take an inhale, come back up. Release the hands forward. Find that rounding through the shoulders. And you're kind of keeping the hands shoulder height there. Take another big inhale. And then as you exhale, release the hands to the earth. We're going to step forward with that right leg. Bring the hands onto the ankles or the shins as you inhale to gaze forward. And then as you exhale, fold back in over the legs. So do that a couple of times. So as you inhale, you're gazing forward. You're finding length through the torso. Draw the shoulders away from the head. And then as you exhale, draw the belly in. Hands sink back over the legs. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. And then gaze forward, bend through the knees a little as you inhale to sweep the arms all the way up to the top. And then as you exhale, bring the hands into the heart space. Just taking a moment here, planting the feet into the earth. Feel that lift as you inhale, drawing you up. And as you exhale, you ground back down. Just take a moment to consider what you feel grateful for in this moment. Maybe something that happened today. And it's worth considering why. So quite often we can say, oh, I'm really grateful for my home. I'm really grateful that I have food to eat. So it could be, for me today, I'm really grateful for my husband for cooking my dinner because it makes me feel cared for and loved. So really feeling that you can go a bit deeper into this rather than, I'm really grateful for my friend. Why are you grateful for your friend? How have they made you feel by maybe doing something for you or even saying thanks to you? And that can make us feel that fuzziness inside, that pleasure can be ignited within the brain. So when you're ready, take an inhale, reach the hands back up to the top. And then as you exhale, fold forward all the way back down. Take an inhale for your half lift, so that might be hands on the ankles or all the way up onto the shins. And then as you exhale, plant left foot, then right foot. Come into your plank or drop the knees straight away. Take an inhale. And then as you exhale, knees, chest, chin. So move through a vinyasa, so hands under the shoulders as you inhale to move into your cobra, and then as you exhale, travel back through child's pose and into your down dog. Take a breath in your down dog, lift the pelvis. As you exhale, soften the heels towards the mat, make sure the head is releasing. Gaze forward, take an inhale, step left foot, then right foot. Bring the hands onto the ankles, the shins. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, fold in. Bend through the knees, gaze forward. Inhale all the way up to the top. And exhale to bring the hands into the heart space. So we'll do that one more time, really slowly and mindfully. Inhale, reach the hands up. And exhale, folding through. So make sure you have a little bend into the knees as you release the hands, release the head. Bring the hands onto the ankles, the shins, gaze forward. And then plant the hands down, step right leg, then left leg into your plank or dropping the knees straight away. Take an inhale, keep the belly connected. As you exhale, sinking all the way down. Remember, no back bending until the belly comes down. Inhale into a little cobra. And then exhale, traveling back. Child's pose, down dog. Take an inhale in your down dog, lift the pelvis. Exhale, softening in. Inhale to lift the right leg. Press through the heel again. So we're not going to bend and open the side body. Check in with the weight. Across the hands, the shoulders. Press back through that left heel. Take an inhale. And then as you exhale, bring the right foot forward. So you're welcome to bring the knee down for a low lunge, but you could, if you want to just challenge the body a little bit here, you could come into a high lunge. Connecting with that right thigh wherever you go, and feel that length, even if you don't keep bringing the hands onto the hips and the thumbs into the armpits. I find that quite useful. It really just gives me that sense of lengthening the body. And then inhale, reaching the hands up. Exhale, cactus arms. Inhale. Maybe exhale, dropping back. Shoulders draw towards one another. Take an inhale, come back up to the center. Exhale to release the hands behind. Inhale, draw the shoulder blades together. Try to interlace the hands the other way. The other little finger outside. Inhale. And maybe again exhaling, dropping back. But it's that opening through the front of the body that we're looking for, not the pinch in the lower back. Inhale back to the center. Exhale, release the hands forward. Inhale, rounding through the shoulders. Breathing there. Inhale to reach the hands all the way back up to the top. And then exhale, release the right hand to the lower back. Inhale to reach the left hand up. And again, exhaling, just softening back into that. So hopefully, feeling this along the left thigh, front of the pelvis, front of the belly, maybe into the chest. Take another inhale. And then as you exhale, bringing that left hand down onto the mat. Inhale to reach that right hand up. Remember, you can always bring that left knee down if you need to. Take an inhale. Feel that you could reach through the right fingertips a little bit more. And then as you exhale, we're going to bring the right hand over the head and we're going to circle through the shoulder. So the fingertips will just sweep along the mat. And then inhale back up to the top. And exhale over the head and down to the mat. Inhaling up. And exhaling over. One more time. Inhale, try and keep everything else steady, especially that thigh. And then exhale, bringing that right hand down. Step back. You're welcome to move through a vinyasa, or just sit back to child's pose if you could just do with a little breather, or go to your down dog. So by producing these feelings of pleasure and contentment, you know, gratitude can have an impact on our overall health. And research is kind of showing that it is the simple things that really help us. So we're going to look at some of those exercises that we can kind of do outside of our yoga. So things like a gratitude journal, things like a gratitude jar. So we'll have a look at those as well. But really it's about being able to reduce stress, improve our sleep, and build emotional awareness. So when we kind of say, I feel grateful for this because it made me feel like this, we become more and more aware of our emotions. And this is a good thing. So good or bad, you know, we want to become aware of what is happening within. So being really present with everything. So when you're ready, from your down dog, take an inhale to lift left leg, press through the heel, check in with the balance through the hands, through that right leg, connect in. Take another inhale, and then as you exhale, sweep the foot forward. You're welcome to drop the right knee or inhale to a high lunge, so whichever would work for you. Find that length, inhale, and then as you exhale, cactus arms. Inhaling there, and maybe exhaling, opening up the front of the body. So remember, if these back bends get too much as you go through, you notice something that doesn't feel right, stay connected at the center. If you're back bending, take an inhale, come back up, exhale, release the hands behind. Remember about just shifting that change in the interlace as well, really helpful for the shoulders. Take an inhale, and either stay there or exhale, opening up the front of the body. Inhale back up to the center. Exhale, release the hands forward. Inhale, rolling through the shoulders, chin towards the chest. Take an inhale to reach the hands back up to the top. And exhale, bring the left hand to the lower back. Inhale, reach the right fingertips up. So again, creating that length. And then maybe exhale, sinking into that. Take an inhale, reach back up. And then as you exhale, that right hand comes down onto the mat. And then that left hand comes up. So just notice if this left leg has a tendency to just flop about. Try and keep it connected. Draw that left hip in a little, thigh engaged. Take an inhale, press into the right hand a little bit more. And then as you exhale, the hand over the head, sweeping it along the mat. Inhale back up. And exhale over the head. Stay connected there. Inhaling. And exhale. Let's do one more. Inhaling to the top. And then exhaling, release that hand down. We're going to step forward even, with the right leg, sorry. And then bring the hands onto the shins or the ankles, gaze forward. And exhale, fold in over the legs. Press through the feet, take an inhale to come all the way up to stand. And exhale to bring the hands onto the lower back. And then beginning to find that length again, so kind of that lift up through the crown of the head. Lots of kind of strength in the thighs, so feel as if you're pressing the thighs forward and you're opening up through the front of the pelvis and you're stretching across the belly and then opening up through the front body, so bit by bit moving into that back bend and the hands keeping you supported there. Drawing maybe the elbows towards one another. So you're opening through the shoulders. Doesn't need to be deep here. So just get a sense of the front of the body opening. Take an inhale, come back to the center. Interlace the hands behind. Inhale, draw the shoulder blades together. And then exhale, fold from the hips all the way down. And then this time you're allowing the hands maybe to come over the back. Release the head. Draw the shoulder blades together. Breathing there. Release the hands on your next inhale. Bring them onto the ankles, the shins, gaze forward. And exhale, fold in over the legs. Going to go into our chair, so you can have feet together or feet hip distance, whatever makes sense for you. Inhale to sit down. Weight into the heels, reach the hands up. Remember, you can always have the hands shoulder height if that feels better, but make that connection, so belly connecting in, lower back lengthening. Take an inhale, and then as you exhale, fold all the way down, release the hands, release the head. We're going to step back with the left leg, bending into the right leg to take an inhale to come up to our warrior one. And exhale, settle into that. So do any adjustments that you need through the legs, connect in through the right thigh, pelvis as neutral as is possible. So you're making that connection in through the belly. Reach the hands up. And then exhale to your cactus arms again. Inhale. Keep that openness through the chest as there's then a little back bend. Inhale, back up. Exhale, the hands behind. Inhale, shoulder blades connect. And this time we'll exhale and fold forward. So you might find you can bend into that right leg a little bit more, and maybe the hands come over the back, over the shoulders. Take an inhale. And then as you exhale, release the hands down. Step back. You can move through a vinyasa, or you can just sit and rest in child's pose, or meet us in down dog. So also kind of remembering about the negativity bias. So we tend to have tend to focus on the obstacles and the difficulties in life because of this negativity bias. And when you think about it, it's because the negative things demand some action. They demand our attention. Whereas the things that are going well, the things that are flowing in life, well, they're just happening. We don't have to do anything about it. And we kind of forget to attend to them. We forget that they're there. So it's about that rewiring of the brain again. And this is what a lot of this seems to keep coming back to. Making this a habit, making this something that we do without really thinking about. And that would be where we would want to get to. So one of the things that some of you may already even be doing is a gratitude journal. Having something beside your bed at night, just having one or two things that you feel grateful for, and taking some deep intentional breaths around those things. It could, especially if you're somebody who likes to write things down, this can be really useful. Having that in front of you in black and white. I'm grateful for this because it made me feel like this, and letting it soak in. So from your down dog, take an inhale, lift the left leg. Exhale to bring it forward. Plant the right foot down, bend into the left. Inhale to sweep into your warrior one. Adjust the feet, find neutral pelvis, sink into that left leg, but make sure you can still see the toes and ever so slightly draw that left hip in. Inhale, reaching the hands. And exhale, your cactus arms. Inhaling there, keep that right heel pressing into the mat. As you exhale, soften into that back bend. It doesn't need to be a big back bend either. Take an inhale, come back to the center. Exhale, release the hands behind. Inhale, draw shoulder blades together. Remember, adjust that interlace of the fingers when you can. And then as you exhale, folding forward. You might be able to sink into that left leg a little bit more. You might be able to bring the hands over the back. Squeezing into the shoulders. Breathing there. Take another inhale. And then as you exhale, release the hands down. And then we're going to step forward with the right leg. Bring the hands onto the ankles, the shins, gaze forward. And exhale, fold in over the legs. Coming back to your chair. So feet together, feet hip distance, whatever makes sense. Inhale to lift the hands. And then as you exhale, folding forward again so you can release the legs, release the head. Inhale for your half lift. And exhale, step back with the left leg. And we're going to lead with the left hand to sweep up to warrior two. So opening the pelvis out, heel, roughly heel to heel alignment. Press away with the left heel. Bend into the right leg. See if the knee can be roughly over the ankle, nicely connected, palms facing down. Inhale. And exhaling, softening into that. Take an inhale, bring that left hand up. And then as you exhale, bring the hand to the shoulder blade. And then that right hand can either reach round to take hold of the fingertips. If that doesn't feel great, then take it over the top and take the elbow. Sometimes that's a better place, a less kind of strain. And then just notice, maybe draw the ribs in. Open up through the front of the pelvis a bit more. Make sure that that right leg is still strong. Breathing there. Just allowing yourself to calm the breath down, calm the mind down. And then take an inhale. Reach the hands up. And as you exhale, we're going to reverse that warrior, so reaching the right hand up. And then as you exhale, come forward through your warrior two, and then elbow can come onto the knee, and then that left hand over the top. Draw back through the left shoulder. Take an inhale, reach through the fingertips. Take a big breath. And then as you exhale, we're going to bring both hands on the inside of the right leg. Turn onto the toes of the left. Take a breath there, inhale. And then as you exhale, bring that knee down. So we're going to work with our lizard pose. So you could allow that right foot to come out to the right a little bit more. The shoulders over the wrists. So find that nice stacking position. Take an inhale. And then as you exhale, just a little bow down, so a little bend into the elbows. Don't need to go far, remember. So see what's happening in the hips for you. Inhale back up. And exhale, soften into that. Inhale. And exhale. Inhaling back up. And then as you exhale, tuck the toes at the back, step back. And you can move through a vinyasa, or you can just sit back to your child's pose or meet us in down dog. Just take your time. And if kind of journaling just doesn't kind of appeal to you, one of the things that I did a few years ago was a gratitude jar. And it was really interesting. I made my husband do it. I made some of my family members do it. Every time they came into the house, they were like, oh, not this again. So they had to write down something that they were grateful for. But when we looked at it, like, I don't know, 6 months or something later, it was so wonderful. And you read all these little notes that just made you glow, made you kind of just fizz with happiness and joy. So that might be something that you want to give a try, if kind of journaling every night kind of feels like a bit of a chore. It can be a really good way. So right, we're in our down dog. So take an inhale. And then we're going to exhale, step that left foot forward. Plant the right heel down. Lead with the right arm. Inhale to your warrior two. And exhale, set that up. So make sure the outside of the foot pressing down, bending into the left leg, squeezing in, opening up through the pelvis. Reach through the fingertips. Take an inhale. Soften into that. Inhale, reach the right hand up. Exhale the fingertips to the shoulder blades. Inhale. And exhale, reach the left fingers back. Or reach it over to the elbow. So that might be a better place, but try and keep a little bit of space between ears and shoulders. Breathing a couple of breaths there. Each time you exhale, draw in through the belly. Planting down through the feet. Take an inhale, reach the hands up, and as you exhale, reverse your warrior. So don't allow the knee to move, the leg to move, but just reach that left hand up. Inhale to travel through your warrior two, and then exhale the elbow onto the leg, reach the right hand over the top. So that long stretch all the way down to the foot. Take an inhale. And then as you exhale, the hands coming down on the inside. Pivot on the right toes, so the heel is lifted. Make sure shoulders over wrist. Walk that left foot to the outside of the mat a little. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, drop the left knee. Take an inhale there. And then as you exhale, a little bend into the elbows. Try and keep the elbows to the inside of the body rather than out. So don't let them kind of splay out to the side. Keep them in. Inhale back up. Just doing that a couple of times with your breath. Exhaling, sinking a little. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And then inhale up to the top, stepping back, your vinyasa or child's pose, down dog, whatever you need. Another lovely one, another lovely way of being reminded of gratitude is having something physical like a gratitude rock. Doesn't really matter what it looks like, but it's what you make of it. It's your kind of intention of it. And the idea is that you might have it in your pocket or your purse. I actually have one that a friend gave me, and I keep it beside my bed. So when I look at it, when I see it every night, I see her face, and I see the reason she gave it to me, and it's just that kind of reminder. So yeah, we can have all sorts of challenges and struggles within our life, but actually there is a lot of good. So the idea with these things is just to be reminded of them. And when we're reminded, it's about sitting with them, pausing with them, and letting them sink in. Not passing them by, because that's what the negativity bias wants us to do. Just kind of pass it by, you know, get on with our struggles. But actually there is so much good that we can kind of let sink in. So from your down dog, if you're still there, take an inhale, and then exhale to bring the knees down and sit back to child's pose. And if you want to bring the arms beside the body, did quite a bit of shoulder work there. So you could bring them just to let them release, let them relax. And I think because from last week we were working with worry and anxiety, and you know, the body has this kind of inbuilt wake-up call to alert us to danger, which is useful. And when kind of fear sets in, it's our body releases the hormones that creates that fight and flight mode. And the brain doesn't really get, in those moments, the brain doesn't get much time to kind of analyze really what's going on. So the upshot of that is that, you know, anxiety can make us feel fearful, insecure. We can kind of question everything, question our inner strength. And then over time, if we stay within that anxiety, we can, our kind of coping mechanisms for life can start to fail. And what's worth remembering is that the brain is conditioned to function in a repeated way. It likes habit. It likes just, it's easier in that way. You know, we kind of all know that habit, good or bad, once you get into it, it's just, yeah, it's just what I do. But what we can do is come out of that anxiety and worry and come out of those stressful situations by being more aware of gratitude, by being more aware of what is going well in our lives. And that's the idea, that we want to turn these moments that are already happening within our lives into something that we really take in, that we let sink within ourselves. So when you're ready, reach the arms forward. Take an inhale to come back to your tabletop. Release the legs round. We'll lie back down. So we're going to move into our bridge and maybe possibly wheel. We'll see how we go. So soles of the feet are on the mat. And we really want to feel that we're engaging the legs when we move into bridge. So it's not just the pelvis lifting, but it's actually the legs doing a lot of the work. So as you lift, try to allow the thighs to roll in towards one another as if you were holding a brick between the legs. If you have a brick, brilliant, bring it. Use it. But if not, most of us probably don't. Take an inhale, press the feet into the mat, lifting up, engaging the legs. And as you exhale, you can just soften back down. So do that a couple of times with your breath, inhaling up. And exhaling down. Inhale. And exhale. And then the next time that you inhale to come up, you could pause. If it feels okay, you could interlace the fingers underneath, draw the shoulders underneath, press into the feet a little bit more, weight into the shoulders, and draw the knees towards one another. Or you can just simply inhale up and exhale down. So don't feel like you have to stay at the top. It can also be a nice thing to just draw up and down. So make sure the thighs are working, draw them towards one another, take another inhale, and then as you exhale, slowly, slowly come back down. Lovely. So don't draw the knees in just yet, because we're going to do that a few more times and maybe work into wheel as well. So if you feel like you need a bit of a release in the pelvis, bring the feet a bit wider than the hips and just rock the knees side to side. So there can often be an urge to just draw the knees in. So if you can just fight that for a moment so that we can continue to work with our back bending. So bringing the soles of the feet down and the feet hip distance again. This time we'll use the arms and we'll bring the arms over the head. So as you inhale, lift the hands and lift the hips. And as you exhale, bring the hands behind, press into the feet and lift a little bit more. We'll pause there for a moment, draw the thighs towards one another. Take an inhale, lift a little bit higher, and it really helps to push the feet into the mat, so more weight goes into the shoulders. And then take an inhale, lift the hands back up to the top. You might be able to lift the hips a tiny bit further. And then slowly exhale and bring everything back down, hands and hips. So we'll do that again with our breath. Inhale, hands and hips. Exhale, hands behind the head. Just let them drop down. And then press into the feet. Take an inhale, lift more weight into the shoulders. Draw the thighs towards one another. So we don't really want the knees to touch. They shouldn't touch, but it's the thighs that we want to really, really work. And then on your next breath in, bring the hands back up, lift the hips a tiny bit more, and then exhale to bring the hands down. So you can work with either one of them, that one or the one where you interlace the hands underneath. Or if you want to have a little go at wheel, you could bring the hands over the head, fingertips pointing towards you. It's all the same thing. It just means we're using the arms when we get up to the top. So you're pressing into the feet, engaging the legs, lift the hips, and then press into the hands and lift. So hopefully you've done a nice lot of work, opening the front of the body, that you might just be able to even just try it out. Draw the knees towards one another especially Helen there. Yes, have the feet hip distance. And you're lifting. And then even just pause at the top with the hands on the mat, and then another big inhale to press the hands in and lift all the way up. You can do it. For some people, it's like the top of the head just comes onto the mat, but very little weight, and then another big push, and then they can get up. Just see how you go. Yeah, draw the knees in. Yeah, you're nearly there, Helen. Well done. And when you've had enough of that, draw the knees in when you come back down. Have a little rock side to side. Lovely. And then we'll go into happy baby. So feet, knees a little bit wider. Take hold of the ankles just for a moment, even though you probably know you can do happy baby, full happy baby. Draw the pelvis long. Draw the back of the pelvis nice and long so the lower back is sinking down. Draw the shoulder blades down into the mat. Chin towards the chest. Take another breath. And either stay there or bring the soles of the feet into the air and take the outsides of the feet. But still that lengthening through the back of the body. I'll just go back to taking the ankles. That can often be just a really nice way of lengthening and realigning. And then take another inhale. And as you exhale, we're going to bring the left foot onto the mat. Bring the right leg into the air. So you can either interlace the fingers around the right thigh, or you could bring the fingers around the right big toe and lengthen the leg that way. For me, that just doesn't work for the hamstring or the right shoulder. It just feels too pulley. So I just take the interlace around the thigh. But press through the heel. Press through the right heel. So you're gradually lengthening the right leg, and feel that that femur bone is drawing back down towards the earth. It might feel like it's lifted, so try and get the pelvis to be level at that point, the buttocks and the hips to be level. Take an inhale. You can stay there as you exhale, or you could walk the hands further up the leg if you're taking the interlace behind the thigh, and the chin and the chest come off the mat. So you're lifting up towards the leg. You could lengthen that left leg along the mat, or you could just keep it bent. Couple of breaths. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Inhale. And then exhale, release. And come back to your happy baby. Just briefly there. Taking the feet or taking the ankles. Maybe there's even a rock side to side. Take an inhale. And exhale the right foot onto the mat. Lengthen the left leg. Take the toe or just interlace the fingers around the thigh. Pressing the thigh into the hands if you do. And the hands into the thigh. And press the heel away as well. Or gradually pressing away. Take another inhale, and then as you exhale, lifting the head, walking the hands up the leg if you're not already taking the toe, and you could lengthen that right leg, press through the right heel, staying lifted. Take another big inhale, and then as you exhale, release down, and then bring the feet wider than the hips. And just rocking the knees side to side. You might pause on one side for a breath or two if that feels really nice. Or you could just move from one side to the other, depending on what you need. And then when you come back to the center, find a place to pause. So whether your Shavasana is just knees bent, or you would prefer legs long, just find a place to release into. And can you have the arms away from the body, palms facing up? So one of the gratitude meditations that I often do So again, it's like journaling, writing stuff down is just not going to happen for you. It's just too many other things to do in life. This is a really lovely one to do before bed. So palms facing up, you feel the energy in the palms of the hands. Feel the energy in the fingertips. And then just briefly on each thumb, each finger, we just plant something that we feel grateful for. So be aware of that right hand thumb. Planting that little piece of gratitude here. If you can, consider why you feel grateful for it, how it makes you feel. And when you feel ready to move on, you can then move to the index finger, but take your time. You don't need to rush through this either, but if you're ready, move to the index finger, feel the energy there. Consider something else that you feel grateful for. Consider why and how it makes you feel. And just see where you get to, finger by finger. Not thinking you have to finish, but just notice if the mind wanders off, which it often can. And just notice where you have got to, or maybe where the mind has wandered off to. And be aware of the gratitude that you have planted in the fingers, even if you haven't got to all 10. Just see if you can feel their energy. And as you breathe in, take a deep intentional breath. Feel that you're drawing that gratitude all the way into the heart space, through the arms, into the shoulders, the chest. And as you exhale, it's as if it kind of filters throughout the whole of the body. You might do that a couple of times, breathing from the fingertips all the way into the heart. And as you exhale, it fizzes maybe up into the chest and the neck and the head. And maybe the next breath, it moves down into the belly, the pelvis, the legs. And it's having that felt sense of this gratitude, what we feel glad about, what we feel grateful for. Really feeling it in your body, in your mind, and in your heart. Letting it be part of you. It's worth remembering that gratitude is a skill, is something that we cultivate, is something that we get better at when we practice it. And it's something that then becomes a habit and rewires the brain. So it's not about not being with the negative things and the struggles that we have in life. It's not about bypassing those things, but it's just about being with the things that do make us happy, that do make us glad in life. And it really can change our perception and change our inner world. So just for a few moments, just letting go of all of that and letting go a little bit more of the physical body as it rests here. And just being with your breath as it comes and goes. No need to change it. Just be with the breath. Taking another long deep breath in, pausing at the top, and a long exhale. And when you feel ready, bring some movement into fingers and toes. Draw the knees in, rock side to side. Slowly, slowly make your way back, and you might keep the gaze soft, eyes closed as you come back to sit. Bringing the hands to prayer pose at the heart space. Finishing with one arm, take a deep breath in. Thank you for your practice. Namaste.